What if I told you about a guy who had all the tools to be a Hall of Famer? Somebody Kobe said had no weaknesses in his game, was a 3-time All-Star, and was considered one of the NBA's best shooting guards? Just disappeared one day. That's what happened to our guy, Brandon Roy. One day, he was one of the league's coldest players, and the next day, he was kind of gone. But how did this even happen? Where did he go? And where is he now? Well, to figure this out, we got to go back to the beginning, where this whole thing started. Brandon Roy was born on July 23, 1984, in Seattle, Washington. Growing up in the vibrant city, he developed a deep connection to his community and its culture. His early life in Seattle laid the foundation for his strong work ethic and determination, traits that would later define his basketball career. Roy attended African American Academy Elementary School, where he began his journey in education. While growing up, basketball became an important part of his life. He first began playing seriously while participating in the Amateur Athletic Union, one of the biggest sports organizations in the United States. The experience helped him develop his skills and the love of the game. Roy went on to attend Garfield High School in Seattle. There, he stood out as one of the best high school basketball players in the state of Washington. His talent and work ethic made him a well-known athlete in his community. In 2002, Roy thought about entering the draft straight out of high school, which meant he would be skipping college altogether. However, after thinking carefully about his future, he decided to withdraw his name and focus on other options. Roy was highly regarded as a high school player. He was rated as a 4-star recruit by Scout.com and a 3-star recruit by Rivals, and ranked as the number 6 shooting guard and the number 36 overall player in the nation that year. But Roy faced several challenges before he could even start college. Neither of his parents nor his older brother had attended college, so he was paving a new path for his family. On top of that, Roy had a learning disability that made it hard for him to take standardized testing like the SAT. His reading comprehension was slower than average, which meant he needed extra time to finish his tests. But Roy worked hard to overcome these difficulties, taking the SAT 4 times with the help of tutors before finally achieving the score he needed to meet the NCAA requirements for college athletes. But during this time, Roy wasn't sure he'd be able to attend a 4-year college. So to support himself, he worked on the Seattle docks, cleaning shipping containers for $11 an hour. In some states, that's still more than minimum wage in 2024. Insanity. Despite these hardships, he never gave up on his dream of playing basketball at a higher level. Eventually, Roy joined the University of Washington to play basketball. He stayed there for 4 years under head coach Lorenzo Romar, becoming an important player for the team. While at Washington, Roy majored in American Ethnic Studies, balancing his academics with his athletic career. After his junior year, Roy thought about entering the NBA draft. However, he decided to stay for his senior year. Roy saw this as an opportunity to take on a leadership role on his college team, improving his skills and raising his chances of being drafted at a higher position in the future. Roy had many memorable moments during his time at the University of Washington. On December 29, 2005, he led the Huskies to a victory against the Arizona State Sun Devils with a career-high 35 points. This performance made him the 31st player in Washington's history to score 1,000 points in his college career. In the very next game, he matched his career high of 35 points in a double overtime loss to the Arizona Wildcats. These achievements highlighted Roy's growth as a player and his ability to perform under pressure. During his senior year, Roy became the star player on his team. He averaged 20.2 points per game and led the Huskies to an impressive 26-7 season. His leadership helped the team reach the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament for the second year in a row. Roy's performances also earned him several honors. He was named the Pac-10 Player of the Year, a prestigious award given to the best player in the conference. He also received All-American honors, which recognized him as one of the best college basketball players in the country. He was also a finalist for several major national awards, including the Wooden Award, the Naismith Award, the Oscar Robertson Trophy, and the Adolph Rupp Trophy. These awards are given to the top college basketball players in the country, and being a finalist showed how much Roy had improved during his college career. By the end of his time at the University of Washington, Roy had proven himself as a talented and hardworking player. And in the 2006 NBA Draft, Brandon Roy was selected 6th overall by the Minnesota Timberwolves. But his time there was brief. On draft night, he was traded to the Portland Trail Blazers. Yep, he was a victim of wearing the hat of a team he wouldn't play for. Gotta love the NBA. The move to Portland would define his career, as the Trail Blazers was a team looking for a fresh start, and Roy quickly became the centerpiece of their rebuilding efforts. From the moment he stepped onto the court as a rookie, it was clear that Roy was something special. His game was mature beyond his years, with a skill set that made him a threat in every aspect of the game. He could score, pass, rebound, and defend with a level of poise that was rare for a first-year player. By the end of his rookie season, he was averaging almost 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, earning him the NBA Rookie of the Year award. Fans and analysts alike were impressed by his ability to play at such a high level so early in his career, and Roy's game only improved in the years that followed. Between 2008 and 2010, he firmly established himself as one of the league's brightest stars. His smooth, efficient playing style earned him the nickname The Natural. He averaged over 20 points per game during this stretch, along with solid contributions in rebounds and assists. His ability to take over games in crucial moments set him apart, and he became known for his clutch performances. During this time, Roy led the Blazers to multiple 50-win seasons, turning a team that had been stuck in mediocrity into a legitimate playoff contender. What made his achievements even more remarkable was that he accomplished this with relatively limited support. The Blazers roster was talented but very inconsistent, and injuries to key players often left Roy carrying a heavy load. Despite that, he thrived under pressure, proving time and time again that he could rise to the occasion. His polished all-around game made him a fan favorite and a respected figure across the league. Players and coaches alike marveled at his ability to make the difficult look easy. Whether he was seeking a game-winning jumper or threading the needle with a perfect pass through a crowded defense, it didn't matter. Roy played with the level of grace that earned admiration from across the corners of the league. Brandon Roy's peak years with the Portland Trail Blazers were a mix of brilliance and frustration, marked by incredible individual performances and tough team challenges. In the 2009 playoffs, Roy solidified his reputation as one of the NBA's premier stars. Despite the Blazers facing a daunting Western Conference lineup filled with powerhouse teams, Roy shined brightly as he averaged an impressive 27 points per game during the playoffs, showing his ability to perform under pressure and shouldering the scoring load for his team. His efficiency and composure on the court made him a constant threat, but even his brilliance wasn't enough to push Portland deep into the postseason. One of the main obstacles was the strength of the Western Conference. During that time, teams like the Los Angeles Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, and Dallas Mavericks were stacked with talent and experience, making the road to the NBA Finals an uphill battle for younger teams like the Blazers. Additionally, Portland's roster lacked the consistent depth needed to match these elite squads. While Roy's individual efforts were extraordinary, basketball is a team sport, and he couldn't carry the Blazers to victory alone. The 2010 playoffs marked a turning point in Roy's career, but not in the way that anyone had hoped. During the first round, he suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee. That's a devastating injury for any player, but especially for someone whose game relied on smooth movement and balance. In a decision that sparked debate, Roy returned to the court just 1 week after undergoing surgery. His determination to help his team was evident, but many questioned whether it was too soon. And while his return inspired his teammates and fans, it came at a cost. The wear and tear on his knees began to take a toll that would affect him for the rest of his career. After the season, Roy received a diagnosis that would change everything: degenerative arthritis in both knees. The condition was severe, with doctors finding that he had little to no cartilage left, leaving his bones grinding against each other. For an athlete at the peak of his career, the news was devastating. The 2010-2011 season was a struggle for Roy, as his once dynamic game was hampered by constant pain and limited mobility. His scoring and overall impact had dropped to career lows, and he underwent arthroscopic surgery on both knees in an attempt to find relief. Despite these challenges, Roy showed glimpses of his former self during the 2011 playoffs. In Game 4 of the first round against the Dallas Mavericks, he delivered a performance for the ages. Facing a 23-point deficit in the second half, Roy led a stunning comeback, scoring 24 points in what would become one of the most memorable games of his career. His clutch shooting and leadership on the court reminded everyone of why he had been one of the league's brightest stars. It was a moment of triumph, but it also underscored the bittersweet reality of his situation. Then Brandon Roy faced one of the hardest decisions of his life. That was stepping away from the game he loved. After battling degenerative arthritis in both knees and enduring multiple surgeries, the once dynamic star could no longer perform at the level that had defined his career. The pain and physical toll was too much, and Roy officially announced his retirement. It was a heartbreaking moment for fans and for Roy himself, as his career had ended far too soon. His retirement left a void in the NBA, as he had been one of the league's brightest stars and a beacon of hope for the Portland Trail Blazers. However, Roy wasn't ready to give up entirely. In 2012, fueled by his competitive spirit and love for basketball, he attempted a comeback with the Minnesota Timberwolves. This move was met with cautious optimism. Many hoped that advances in medical treatment and his determination could give him a second chance at the career he had worked so hard to build. Unfortunately, his knees did not. Roy played only 5 games with the Timberwolves before another injury that forced him to the sidelines. The comeback ended almost as quickly as it began, marking the definitive end of his playing career. It was a sobering reminder of how injuries can derail even the most promising careers. Despite the premature end to his playing days, Roy left an undeniable mark on the NBA and the Trailblazers franchise. When he arrived in Portland, the team was struggling to recover from the fallout of the Jailblazers era, a period by off-court controversies and on-court disappointments. Roy's professionalism, leadership, and talent helped redefine the team's identity, and he became the face of a new era, leading the Blazers back to respectability and playoff contention. His impact went beyond numbers. He restored hope to a fan base that had endured years of frustration. One of the NBA's biggest what-ifs in NBA history revolves around Brandon Roy and the potential of the Blazers core during his prime. Alongside LaMarcus Aldridge and Greg Oden, Roy was part of a trio that had the potential to dominate the league. When the 3 players played together, the results were staggering. The team poised a combined record of 50-12 in games they shared the court. Unfortunately, injuries derailed this team. Oden, the highly touted center drafted first overall in 2007, struggled with chronic knee issues and played only a fraction of the games expected of him. Roy's own injuries compounded the frustration, leaving fans to wonder what could have been if the trio had stayed healthy. After his playing career was over, Roy continued to make an impact on the basketball world by becoming a coach in 2016. He joined Nathan Hale High School as the head coach of the boys basketball team, and Roy quickly proved his coaching abilities, leading his team to a perfect 29-0 record during the regular season. This incredible achievement earned him the Naismith National High School Coach of the Year award in March of 2017. Following the departure of key players like Michael Porter Jr., Jonte Porter, and P.J. Fuller, Roy took on a new challenge. In May of 2017, he was named the head coach of Garfield High School's boys basketball team. Although he stepped down during the 2018-2019 season for undisclosed reasons, he once again stepped down after the 2019-2020 season, but made another comeback in 2022, where he is currently coaching. Roy's legacy endures as one of the most talented guards of his generation. Even though his career was short, his impact was profound. Known for his smooth playing style, clutch performances, and basketball IQ, Roy left an impression on his teammates, opponents, and fans alike. He was proof that greatness isn't always measured by longevity. Instead, it can be defined by moments that showcase heart, skill, and determination. While injuries robbed him of a chance to reach his full potential, Brandon Roy remains a symbol of resilience and a reminder of the fragility of athletic careers. His story, though, bittersweet, but he continues to inspire and captivate basketball fans around the world. What if I told you about 3 players who left a lasting impact on the game despite not reaching their full potential? If you want to know what happened to these 3 NBA stars, just click right here.